Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talking Sense with Alasdair Milroy right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your co-host, and I'd like to welcome Alasdair. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Ria. How are you?
Good, thank you. Now, we've talked about cryptocurrency. We've talked about the world situation today. I wanted to talk to you about accounting software. Now, the reason I wanted to talk to you about that is as a Canadian citizen, I have to do my taxes. And I only have a certain amount to do them, but of time to do them. I think a lot of people are looking at doing their taxes right now, and you know, it's confusing because there's so many options out there. And when you come to maritime, it makes it even that much more difficult because we're talking about different flags, we're talking about crew from different countries. Talk to me.
Accounting software has gone through some really big changes, probably over the last 12 years, and it's really shaken up the accounting industry in terms of the type of services that accountants can provide their client and actually the value that they can add. And really that's been, I think, from automating some of the more mundane tasks and the processing and getting better data available for accountants to actually then advise certainly business owners and yacht owners and get much better handle on what's going on in a business and have that much more up-to-date information. And you know, going back to when I was a young trainee, you'd often get someone coming in with a shoebox full of receipts and you'd process them at the end of the year, and it was 6 months behind. You know, you were doing the tax return, but it had all happened. You weren't able to add any value to the actual business itself. And you know, we've just seen a lot of development, a lot of new businesses and software developers into the market who've plugged into the core accounting packages. QuickBooks, Xero, Sage is now coming online, and just making that data much more customized and making the software that's available much more plug into what you need.
We have so many options nowadays of different ways to input our information into digital software. Does that actually take the place of an actual proper accountant? You know, once you've inputted all that information into your digital format, does that take the place of a proper accountant taking a look at it and saying, you know what, I can cut you here, I can cut you there, I can work this angle, I can work that angle, and you're actually going to get more money back or not have to pay as much in the end?
I love this question because a lot of the developers, a lot of the software providers out there will say, our software simplifies it, you can do it yourself, business owners, you don't need anyone else. The reality is that's not the case, and to get the best out of these software, you need someone who really knows how to use it. There's some, there are software packages out there who do make it easier for crew or for owners, but really to get the best out of those, working with an accountant is going to get you a much better result in the end. And I can give you a long line of accountants who can say the number of times they come into businesses and help them who have tried to do it themselves with some advice from Jack at the pub or whatever. It generally ends up costing that business or person a lot more to fix the problem than if they'd gone to the accountant in the first place.
So realistically, though, software is great for keeping track of everything, as far as your day-to-day expenses, as far as your income, as far as everything that goes into whether it be the yacht, whether it be an onshore business. It's great for keeping it digitally. But realistically, in order to maximize exactly what it is that you should be getting back from the government, or shouldn't have to pay the government, it is best to have a proper accountant take a look at that data within the accounting software to make sure that you are getting the best bang for your buck.
Systemizing is so important. And what I mean by that, not just the software you use, but actually looking at the process you've got in your business, mapping those out and making it repeatable and teachable to others. So and effectively, that's the only way you can scale your business. And so if you can set out a system, whether that's for your sales, for your onboarding new clients, for your delivery to clients, but you've got a method of doing that, and some of the most successful businesses in the world, if you look at places like McDonald's, they have that all systemized. And that's why they've been so successful and been able to replicate that around the world. You might not want to be a multinational company, but it's still, in terms of having that, breaking down your processes and being able to bring people in and not then be reliant on employees leaving or crew leaving. It comes down to the same on a yacht. If you've got the systems in place, you can bring someone on and still deliver the same experience much more quickly than if you don't have those processes.
Well, to be honest with you, this is my second business that I've owned. And I'm telling you right now, I've made the mistake of thinking that I'm saving money by doing it on my own. And in the end, I've realized that spending that extra few $100s on an accountant actually saved me thousands. So you may have to put up X amount in the front, but at the back end, honey, trust me, it's well worth it, because you end up far further ahead than you imagined you would be.
A lot of this software that we're talking about has actually allowed accountants to become much more partners with business owners, to really help them hold accountable. So look at the goals, look at actually not just what's my business doing, how much tax can you save me, but what do you want to achieve? What's your vision for your life? What do you want? How's the business going to help you to achieve that?
The electronic version is so much easier for an accountant to figure out.
It is. And talking about that, Ria, we've also had, in the UK from April this year, what's called Making Tax Digital is come into place for all your VAT for income tax and corporation tax from 2024. That basically means the taxman will only take your information in a digital format from a recognized software. There's a tax and legislative reason why you need to do it, but actually you can get so much more from it if you have that information.
Just because you've got the software doesn't mean you don't actually need a proper accountant to look at that information and make sure that you get the most back for what you put in.
So having an accountant is, it's not just about having the software, it's about having the right software for your business.
Exactly. And you need an expert for that. Right. Yeah. You've been watching another edition of Talking Sense with Alasdair Milroy of Breaking the Mould Accounting. I thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Ria. It's always a joy.
My name is Ria. I have been your co-host. We'll see you again right here next week.